Scott Dupree, who is maybe the best in the country, if not the world, at his job, is the executive director. Why? Don't laugh yet. I'm not even done with the intro. Executive director, Greater Raleigh Sports Alliance. It used to be the Visitors Bureau. Now it sounds like it's like you're at like one of the meetings in Star Wars. So Scott joins us. Nothing going on in town. You've just got the NCAA first and second round at Lenovo Center. All three not state schools because Duke's not a state school. State, Carolina, and Duke are all hosting first and second rounds on campus. You have College Cup here every year. What is going on? You guys are obviously amazing at your jobs.
Well, I'm down at the Outer Banks this weekend, Adam. So what is there something going on?
Wait a second. You got out of town for this?
No. I'm
okay.
Right here.
Wow, that was very believable. I heard wind behind you. I figured, my gosh, Scott's calling us from the beach.
No, when I was talking to Victoria, I just stepped outside of the Lenovo Center, but I have one so I could hear. But I have one quick question for you.
Sure.
So, taking it based on your speech there to open the segment, you weren't a big fan of the San Diego State, Florida Atlantic, Miami Final Four.
It wasn't that I wasn't a big fan. That Final Four, not really. But it's like San Diego State was a better team that year, right?
That's correct, but still an odd team for the Final Four, but a better team.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with, like, one of those teams in the Final Four, but I don't need three of them in the Final Four. And again, I think San Diego State was a good team that year.
Yeah. Anyway, so what was your question?
I don't remember. Why are you? What is it about here? And it's not just because it's not just basketball. You know, right now it's basketball because we have 4 venues hosting NCAA tournament first and second rounds. What is it about here that draws all of these events to us?
Sure. I think there's a good question. I think there's a lot of factors, and a couple of those factors are, one, I always tell people, we are the people like me who work in the sports market in this region. We are very blessed to be in what I think is maybe the most enjoyable, fun, exciting sports market in the country with, you start at the top with the Hurricanes, and then you go NC State, Duke, and Carolina, which are essentially major league, treated like major league franchises in terms of attention and media and tickets and sponsorships. So you've got all of that. And then you've got incredible venues. Venues is really a foundational aspect of having a great sports market. And we have world-class venues, as you know. But I think the biggest part, Adam, is we have a lot of people here who love sports, good at their jobs, love bringing events here, love hosting events. And I'm talking about the Hurricanes. I'm talking about NC State, USA Baseball, NCFC Youth, the town of Cary, the city of Raleigh. There's all of these components that it's just an unbelievable dynamic of a sports market, and the people and the organizations who have sort of all landed here at the same time, who are really good at hosting, and they're really good people, and they work really hard to make it happen. And that's a big part of it. And then over time, another really important component is your track record or your resume. Mm-hmm. And we host an event, whether it's Stadium Series or NCAA basketball or College Cup or who knows what, another sort of bullet point gets added to the resume of major events that were hosted here successfully. And when that happens, every time it happens, someone out there who owns events or plans events notices, that went really well in Raleigh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pick up the phone and try to bring my event to Raleigh. And I've always said that your track record and your resume is critical to future business. When you host one event successfully, it opens the door for more.
Do you think Scott Dupree from the Greater Raleigh Sports Alliance is joining us here? He is the executive director. Do you think that is in large part why the soccer tournament has found success here 2 years in a row and keeps getting bigger?
I do. I think two things. One, I think this is just my opinion here. I think it initially picked up the phone, the TST, and called the town of Cary because all the College Cups and Cary's reputation is without question the premier place in America for collegiate soccer, the premier town for collegiate soccer. And I think that's what led them to pick up the phone and when they were doing their initial research. And then the second part of it is when they got here, when they looked at it, when they played the first year, as you know, Adam, the fields and the grounds at Wake Med Soccer Park are impeccable. They're like greens at Pinehurst. I mean,
yeah.
And for soccer players and coaches, in my experience, nothing is more important than the turf. They want to play on absolutely perfect playing surfaces, and they get that at Wake Med Soccer Park. And then, of course, as you know, you also have an enormous soccer community in the Triangle that, with a billion, thousands of players, young and adult, who play soccer, who support that kind of event. And TST fell in love with the area. They fell in love with the weather in early June, with the fields, with the fans, with the ticket sales. And but I do think Cary's reputation as nationally as a soccer hotbed is what led to the initial phone call.
Scott Dupree, Executive Director, Greater Raleigh Sports Alliance, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Just a couple of more minutes. Tell me what else you can, what else is coming? What else can we be excited about? How long until you bring Major League Baseball to the Triangle, Scott?
I should have that wrapped up by probably Monday morning.
That's great.
So I'll call you when I get that wrapped up. I'll give you a phone call. So
Thank you very much.
I'm on the periphery of that. I'm supportive of that. And as you know, Adam, no one other than maybe you wants Major League Baseball here more than me.
My gosh, it would be great.
What I love about it right now is since I've been in this job for the last 20, 25 years, people are constantly talking about Major League Baseball to Raleigh. When's it going to happen? I mean, it's always been out there. But this is the first time, and again, I'm not speaking for the group here because I am not part of the group trying to bring it here. But this is the first time we've had, in my opinion, real people, real owners, real money, a real legitimate concerted effort that I think has a legitimate chance to do this. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying they're in the mix and they have a legitimate chance. And I would love it more than anything to see a Major League Baseball stadium in Raleigh in 3 to 5 years and have the Pirates coming in, 6.
Look, I like the Pirates. I love the history of the Pirates. I love even those silly 1970s uniforms. I love the Pirates' history, going back to Clemente and before that all the way to Duke legend Dick Groat. I love all of that. I wish the owner of your team tried to win.
That you summed it up. That's all that needs to be said. As I was complaining about last night, I was at the NCAA, our media party that we hosted last night, and I was boring people with talk about the Pirates. And all I would say, the bottom line is, all I want is them to try to win. Even if they don't win, just try to win.
Yeah,
that's all.
They're not trying.
They're not trying. I know.
So
let's change the subject.
All right, we have to go. But who will Paul Skeen's next team be? I don't know. Don't answer it. Don't answer
No,
it.
I'm not going to answer that.
Don't answer that. That is Scott Dupree, the Executive Director, Greater Raleigh Sports Alliance. I'll see you very soon, my friend. I thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Adam and Victoria. Have a great day.
You too.